What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Not a Football Show. My name is Tico from the Tico Fantasy Show, and this is my pal,
Silly Sports.
And you're watching
the Not a Football Show.
And we're getting right on into it. We are talking about the Jamar Chase and T. Higgins extensions because they need to be talked about.
They need to be talked about now.
Right now.
What's going on with these?
Well, we got a 4-year, $161 million contract extension for Jamar Chase, and then a 4-year, $115 million extension for T. Higgins.
Jamar Chase becomes the new highest-paid non-quarterback in the NFL, and T. Higgins becomes the highest-paid wide receiver 2 in the NFL, making this duo expensive.
Very, very expensive. The 9th highest paid wide receiver in the league as well. It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and
it could have been more.
Yeah, it could have been more. I don't really understand T. Higgins' vibe. I don't get it. I feel like he could have gotten in the 30 mils.
I think he easily could have gotten the 30 mils. Didn't DK get what? I have it written down here.
DK's like the 5th or top 3 or top 5.
So I'd like to think he could have signed that same exact contract as DK Metcalf. I believe it was 32. I don't know what it was, but DK Metcalf's contract is paying him $17 more million over 4 years than Mr. T. Higgins.
I think I'd rather have T. Higgins than DK.
Yeah, and I'd rather have another $17 million.
Yeah, it's also I just feel like T. Higgins' production can be matched. It can be matched with either someone cheaper in free agency that they're still out there. I mean, Stephon Diggs is out there, Keenan Allen.
It's your wide receiver too at the end of the day. You know, it's a replaceable position. Jamar Chase, I get it. You got to pay him. You should have paid him. You should have paid him when Justin Jefferson got paid and got him at 35, 34, whatever you could have got him at back then. But you didn't, and that was a really stupid decision.
Yeah, and not to mention, even if you don't have a good wide receiver too, we saw Mike Gesicki step up when they didn't have a wide receiver too. Andre Yoshivas. So, I mean, they have guys, and the way their defense played last year, they can't afford this much money on 3 dudes, including Joe Burrow.
Wouldn't it make more sense to not pay T. Higgins, trade him, get a... They were saying they were trying to get a first-round pick. But let's say you don't get a first-round pick. Let's say you get a second.
Bunch of picks.
Let's say you get a second, a fourth, a fifth, whatever the fuck. And then you go into free agency and you give like a Stephon Diggs a $15 million a year contract. I think it's the same level of production.
Yeah, and not to mention there's so many problems on the defense. I would rather get like a bunch of mid-late picks and then work on it. Get yourself some more cornerstones.
TJ Slayton and BJ Hill, a defensive tackle. I mean, I'm not a big fan of either of them. Trey Hendrickson's the biggest name on this entire defense. You got Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, Oren Burks, Cam Taylor-Britt, Jordan Battle, Dax Hill, Jalen Davis. I mean, it is not a great defense. It's probably, I was looking at a lot of rankings. I believe PFF has them as their 30th ranked defense.
Rightfully so. They looked like shit last year.
They were awful. I think they were allowing like 8 yards per carry a game. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and you just mentioned a name that we haven't even gotten into yet. They're going to pay Trey Hendrickson now. Apparently, they're getting close to a contract. So, what's the percentage that Joe Burrow and...
They take up 44% of the cap space.
So, 44% of the cap space to 3 dudes.
Once Trey Hendrickson gets in, it'll be about 56, 58% of the cap space will be between those 4 guys.
Yeah, and honestly, he led the league in sacks. I don't think he's worth all that much money. I think he's a very good edge rusher. He's not Myles Garrett. He's not TJ Watt.
It depends on what they pay him.
I think it's going to be a lot.
I think it's going to be a lot, too.
Because the way they're talking about him and what they wanted in a trade, they obviously think of him very highly. So,
and he's a great player. 17 and a half sacks last year. He's a fantastic player.
Absolutely. I just don't know if he's going to be worth what they give him, especially when they're in the state that they are right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be... I mean, Myles Garrett got 40.
He might get like 30,
38,
39.
He's going to get at least 35.
Imagine they pay him more. Pay him more than Myles because he led the league in sacks.
They can't pay him more than Myles. Can they do that? Is that allowed?
I don't know.
Can you do that? Do they have the money to do that? Where are they getting this money from?
I thought this GM was like broke as hell. Or not
I think Mike Brown has like some of the most money in the league. He just refuses to spend it.
He's just a cheapie.
Yeah, and he looks like the little brain that's inside of the dude from Ninja Turtles.
Hell yeah.
Pull up that picture.
So, I mean, yeah, and also, the offensive line isn't that good either.
The offensive line sucks. The offensive line, Joe Burrow was the 4th most sacked QB in the league last year.
And then they let go of Alex Kappa, extended Cody Ford.
Ted Karras.
Let's see.
Amarius Mims hasn't really... He's been...
I mean, it's second years. I mean...
Cody Ford... Okay. You mentioned Cody Ford.
They extended Cody Ford.
Orlando Brown's cool.
Yeah. Orlando Brown's definitely
good.
Who
the fuck is Cordell Volson?
Cordell Volson mentioned.
I don't know who Cordell Volson is. I've never heard of that man.
I'd like to imagine nobody knows who Cordell
Jackson
Volson
Kirkland.
is.
Andrew Cocker. Andrew Stuber,
Hardly know.
Matt Lee,
David
Cochran.
Why they got so many Cocks over there?
They got so many. Dude, that's crazy. You got Cochran, Stuber, and Kirkland. Like Costco. They got Jackson, and don't forget Toshawn Manning.
Yeah, you got Cochran right next to B.J. Hill.
The Bengals are fucked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It really sucks. It really sucks.
Does it? Do you care that much?
No, I don't, honestly.
I don't care because their defense is going to suck. And, we like fantasy football, so they're gonna be fun players to get. Joe Burrow.
Hey. For fantasy football?
Yeah.
This shit good.
This shit's very good.
This shit great for fantasy football.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, I'll take Jamar Chase first overall again.
Yeah, we saw a few years ago that when the Detroit defense was terrible, they had all those weapons on offense. They just scored so many damn points because they're always losing games.
Yep.
They're never up. They're never running the ball. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, they're benefiting fantasy-wise.
I think Jamar Chase will be the closest thing we'll have to... Remember how Antonio Brown used to be in the 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, where you used to be able to take him as a top 3, 4, 5 pick in fantasy football every year, and you knew you were getting 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 100 receptions?
Yep.
That's Jamar Chase.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love Jamar.
I'll be taking him.
Yeah, he's worth $40 million. I'm not upset about that.
No, not at all.
I'm not upset about that. T. Higgins, T. Higgins doesn't make sense to me because I just thought he was going to get traded. I thought for sure somebody was going to come in there and scoop him up.
Yeah, it's not a matter of whether or not they deserve these contracts because they're both deserving contracts. I think T deserves more money.
100%.
Jamar,
I'm so shocked took the discount.
Yeah, Jamar got a rightful amount of money, but it's just where the Bengals are right now and how the rest of the roster looks. It's not smart.
W power play by T. Higgins for going out and getting Jamar Chase's same agent.
Yeah.
And the agent saying, hey, if you don't give T. Higgins a contract, you're not getting a Jamar Chase contract done.
You think maybe they didn't even want to, and the agent just strong-armed them into it?
It's possible. It's very possible. But I know for sure that the agent said, if you don't give us the T. Higgins extension, you're not getting the Jamar Chase extension.
It's a crazy move.
Good move by T. Higgins.
Yeah, good move.
Even though I think he could have got paid more.
Players need to take care of themselves. Eat the rich. Fuck them.
But yeah, I think that's all we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about this trade. Not this trade, I'm sorry. These extensions. Let us know what you think. Yeah, that's all we got. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Tico from the Tico Fantasy Show. This is my pal.
Sully Sports.
And you are watching the Night of Football Show.